Jesus, the virgin, Mary, the mother virgin, or the virgin mother of Jesus. The first Horus child of the virgin, the second son of Rock. Jesus, the virgin child, and the Christ, and the son of the Father. The first Horus and the founder of the second fulfiller for the Father. Jesus, the founder, and the Christ, and the fulfiller of the Father. The two mothers of the Christ, Horus, Isis, and Nephthys, who were the two sisters. The two mothers, and the Jesus and the child Jesus, who were sisters. So this thing goes on and on. Isis taken by Horus in adultery. A woman taken in adultery. In adultery with Set. So this stuff goes on and on. Sarah, the foster father of Horus. Joseph, the foster father of Jesus. And it goes on and on and on the parallels of Horus and Jesus. And if you go to India, Krishna has the same parallels. Sut and Horus, the two opposers. Satan and Jesus, the two opponents. The two opponents. Osiris, whom Horus loved. Lazarus, which is another word for Lazarus, who Jesus loved, because Lazarus is Osiris. Osiris, perfume for his burial. Jesus anointed with odor filled the house. And this stuff goes on and on and on. Horus, the good shepherd with the crook and the crook in his shoulder. Jesus, the good shepherd with the lamb kid on his shoulder. This stuff goes on and on in the appendix of Ancient Egypt, Light of the World by Gerald Massey. There's volume 1 and volume 2, but if you go in the appendix, it's 5 pages or more, maybe 10 pages on the parallels between Jesus and Horus. So I heard some white boy came on there, was challenging some of these new people was challenging them and told them to prove that Jesus and Horus was the same, and none of them niggas couldn't say nothing because they don't study. I could have told them, look, get that white boy the scholarship. Give him Jeremiah's Light of the World, volume 2, and he will see the parallels between the two. Now, let me go into this Baphomet thing. The where that comes from. Y'all all right?
Yeah, we good, bro. Yeah, we good. You hear me?
Yeah, I got you.
Yeah, we good money. We hear you.
Okay, let me go into this. The people just gonna have to rewind this and play it over and over. You see what I'm saying? But let me go into this Baphomet thing for you, so that you'll understand. The Baphomet is and this is interesting. You need to get a book called The Sufis by Idris Shah. That's Idris Shah. The Sufis by Idris Shah. Let me spell that again. Idris. Last name is Shas. Idris Shah. Introduction by Robert Graves. This is a groundbreaking, monumental book that appeared on the scene in 1964. Now, they celebrated Robert Graves. He is the author of Greek myths and the White Goddess. He is no slouch. This particular person is considered an authority in scholarship when it comes to several pantheons, especially the Greek stuff. So now, he also did the introduction to Idris Shah's book. But the chapter you want to get is on page 254, 255. The Mysteries in the West and the Head of Wisdom. When we were suspected that the Knights Templars was accused of worshiping a head, sometimes called a Baphomet, and it is in the connection to an idol and probably connected to Muhammad. Hemmitt, the head which is described, but no head which could possibly be identified as one of the Baphomet's could be located. They couldn't locate these particular heads that they was accusing the Knights Templar. Now, the great master C. Freeman L. teaches us that the Knights Templars was set up by the Moors. Well, you say, well, the Moors was Islamic. Knights Templars was Christian. How could the Islamic set up that? Remember now, the Moors only used Islam as a tool of conquest to go in Spain in the 8th century. They came in with various versions of Hebrew, which the Kabbalah was started in Spain. Moses de Leon, the first book, the Zohar, is a Moorish document. They dealt with various versions of Christianity, various versions of Islam, various versions of ancient Egyptian, East Indian, you name it. They took the science from around the world and took it up into Spain. So they set up the Knights Templar, and the word knights is another word, not for the night as far as darkness is as the night, but the night as black as the blackamoors. To be a knight was to be black. You see what I'm saying? So they set up the Knights Templar. Now, in so many words, the Knights Templar, when they set this word up, they venerated a goat. They venerated a version of the goat god Pan, which was, remember, Saturn, the black planet, Osiris, god of the perfect black. Y'all still on?
Yeah,
hello?
we got you, Bobby. We got
okay.
you. We got
so
you.
they venerated, and venerated for those people who don't know, they raised up this symbol of the goat god Pan to honor their teachers, because the goat god Pan is after Saturn. Saturn is the black god. So Capricorn. So the goat to venerate that as the god of darkness, or Saturn, the dark planet, or what they call the black coalman. The black coalman. The Baphomet is none other than a symbol of the completed man, the black head, the Negro head, the Turk's head that appeared in the countrysides, and a crusader substitute that said cant word to find knowledge. So in so many words, they said that what they did to honor their teachers, the Moors, the blackamoors, they venerated the goat god Pan, which was the Saturn, the black planet, to commemorate the black head of their black teachers. And so the symbol of the Baphomet, which was called the Baphomet, was a symbol of the Moors, because they said that they were the perfected man. The blackamoors were the perfected man. You see what I'm saying? The Moors, the perfected man, the black man. And that is where the Baphomet comes from. Later on, this thing goes around Europe, and it is also later on in the 1950s is venerated again with Gerald Gardner, who is the father of modern witchcraft. They worship the Sabbatic goat, the black man, which is also called the green man. Osiris is a black man. He is also the green man. The green man is the god of nature. That's where the horns on the head comes from. The goat, when they showed the horns on the head, in ancient world, they were talking about the god of nature, the goat god Pan, Beth. These particular ones, when they showed the head of, with the horns on the head, they were talking about being one with nature. The horns of the head of Hathor, the cow goddess, later on, not only did she become the golden calf, the evil golden calf in Hebrew, but the cow goddess, the horns off of her head became the head on the horns of the devil, as far as the god Canaan. All that is in a book called The Devil by Jeffrey Burton Russell. The Devil by Jeffrey Burton Russell. Another one of his books is called Satan, the Early Christian Tradition. And they show how all of these particular things got turned into Satan. They took ancient iconology and turned it into Satan. But the Baphomet is none other than the Moor. And that is why all your Masonic figures and all of your Wiccan figures, they got a group in They got a group in somewhere in Poland. One of their things is for their women to go on the astral plane and fuck the Baphomet so that they can go to a higher level. The Baphomet is none other, number one, all the Baphomet, Jesus, and all that's the same thing. But they're talking about ultimately the nature and the energy of the black man, and ultimately where you get the Baphomet that later on the goat god, the one that was drawn by Lippius Levi in the 1800s, that particular one that was drawn by him, I don't know if it was 1700, 1800, I think it was 1800. I have to go back and check. My mind is going to blink, but that's the standard one now. And then later on, the Baphomet was drawn by H. Geiger. H. Geiger drew the book in the 1970s called the Necronomicon. And he draws the Baphomet and he puts dreadlocks on the Baphomet.